Now, if you found somebody in your bed, unconscious and unresponsive, what's the first thing you do? You dial 999, call an ambulance. But that's not what happened.
Bruce Lee, a martial arts prodigy that blazed across screens for 32 years, shattering stereotypes and sparked a global kung fu craze. Then, tragedy struck. His sudden death remains a mystery to this day.
Bruce doesn't get to the hospital until 11 p.m.
Was it a cruel twist of fate or something worse? Bruce Lee, the man. On November 27, 1940, Lee Hoi-Chuen and Grace Ho were blessed with a baby boy named Bruce. Born in San Francisco, little did his parents know that Bruce would go on to become one of the biggest pop culture icons of the 20th century. Not only would he become an expert martial artist, but he would also become the bridge between Chinese and American cinema. Lee's father was a Cantonese opera singer, whose work undoubtedly inspired Bruce to follow in his footsteps and gain a deep respect for the performing arts. His father introduced him to the world of cinema from a young age. His family returned to Hong Kong, and his father's connections in the entertainment industry led to his first film role as a baby in Golden Gate Girl. By 9, he had starred in The Kid alongside his father. Nicknamed Lee the Little Dragon because he was born in the year of the dragon, he continued to make a name for himself in the Hong Kong film industry, appearing in more than 20 films by the age of 18. Despite his blossoming film career, Lee faced challenges, including frequent street fights and academic struggles. These street fights led his parents to seek martial arts training for him, hoping it would help him deal with his aggression. It worked. Lee was finally able to put his energy into something that made him a better performer and a better person. Lee's friend, William Chung, went on to introduce Lee to the legendary martial arts master IP Man in 1953. However, there was a problem. Lee's mother was of Eurasian descent, and in those days, many martial arts purists believed that only people born of full Chinese ancestry should be allowed to practice the craft. His friend William continued to vouch for him and eventually started training privately with IP Man and other students. Yet, many students refused to train with him due to his one-quarter European background. Lee remained steadfast and continued his training in the Wing Chun style alongside his friends William Chung and Wang Shun Lung, under the watchful guidance of IP Man. In 1958, Lee won the Hong Kong Schools boxing tournament, knocking out the previous champion Gary Elms in the final. That same year, he also won Hong Kong's Crown Colony Cha-Cha Championship, showcasing his versatility and discipline. Sadly, his aggression returned, leading to multiple street fights. One of these street fights caused an incident in which he seriously injured a boy, leading his parents to send him to the United States to avoid further trouble. After arriving in the U.S. in 1959, Lee completed high school in Seattle, working as a live-in waiter at Ruby Chow's restaurant, a family friend. He then enrolled at the University of Washington, studying dramatic arts, philosophy, psychology, and various other subjects while teaching martial arts on the side. His innovative approach to Wing Chun laid the foundation for his future development of Jeet Kune Do. This style emphasized adaptability, efficiency, and directness. In the United States, Lee opened his first martial arts school in Seattle, the Lee Junfan Gung Fu Institute. He later moved to Oakland and opened a second school with James Yim Lee, a respected martial artist. His teaching methods attracted students from multiple backgrounds, breaking traditional barriers and emphasizing practical combat skills over rigid styles. A little-known fun fact: Lee also taught notable figures such as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Steve McQueen. Notably, Lee performed the one-inch punch at the 1964 Long Beach National Karate Championships, sending a volunteer flying back into a chair. This demonstration and his incredible two-finger push-ups cemented his reputation in the martial arts community. Some would call it luck that Lee started getting roles in Hollywood. But if his young life shows us anything, it's that he worked hard and his talent outshined every other person in the room. Is it really a surprise he started getting offers left and right? Time in Hollywood. In 1966, Bruce Lee made a significant breakthrough in Hollywood by playing Kato in the TV series The Green Hornet. The show was produced and narrated by William Dozier. It ran for one season, from September 1966 to March 1967. It was based on a popular radio show with the same name and starred Van Williams as the title character. Lee's portrayal of Kato introduced American audiences to Asian-style martial arts, a novelty at the time. The show also featured crossover episodes with Batman, further expanding Lee's exposure. The show didn't receive a good reception then, but it is regarded as a cult classic today. During The Green Hornet, Lee insisted on showcasing his authentic martial arts skills, despite initial resistance from the show's director, who preferred the more traditional American fighting style. His movements were so fast that the cameras had difficulty capturing them, requiring Lee to slow down his actions for filming. This role began to shape his persona as a martial arts icon in the American entertainment industry. While working on The Green Hornet, Lee developed a friendship with stuntman Gene LaBelle. The two exchanged martial arts techniques, expanding Lee's skill set and influencing his philosophy. Despite the show's cancellation in 1967, Lee expressed his gratitude to Dozier and acknowledged the role's significance in launching his Hollywood career. Following The Green Hornet, Lee made guest appearances in several television shows, including an episode of Ironside in 1967. In 1969, Lee collaborated with Hollywood scriptwriter Sterling Siliphant and actor James Coburn on a script for a film titled The Silent Flute. Although the project was not realized then, it laid the groundwork for the 1978 film Circle of Iron, starring David Carradine. That same year, Lee made a brief appearance in the movie Marlowe, written by Siliphant, where he played a hoodlum who used martial arts to intimidate the protagonist, Philip Marlowe, portrayed by James Garner. Additionally, Lee served as the karate advisor for The Wrecking Crew, the fourth installment of the Matt Helm comedy spy series starring Dean Martin. In 1970, Lee went on to choreograph fight scenes for A Walk in the Spring Rain, starring Ingrid Bergman and Anthony Quinn, and showcasing his expertise in martial arts choreography. Despite facing numerous challenges and limited opportunities in Hollywood, Bruce Lee's early career laid the foundation for his future success in Hong Kong. His experience in Hollywood became another source of education for him. Lee now understood what Americans liked. He just had to do it his way. Would you have left a career in Hollywood right when you started making connections? Well, Lee sure did. Bruce Lee's film career in Hong Kong started a new period in his life. The films he made there catapulted him to international stardom and became directly linked to his legacy. Frustrated with only being offered supporting roles in Hollywood, Lee listened to producer Fred Weintraub's advice to move back to Hong Kong and try his luck there. Upon arriving in Hong Kong, Lee was surprised to find out he was already well known there as the star of The Kato Show, aka The Green Hornet. There were only two studios in Hong Kong at that time, Shaw Brothers Studio and Golden Harvest. Lee negotiated with both studios, but struck a deal with Golden Harvest and started his film journey again. His debut leading role in The Big Boss in 1971 became an instant success across Asia, setting box office records and establishing Lee as a box office hit. This was followed by Fist of Fury in 1972, which surpassed even the achievements of The Big Boss, further pushing Lee's rise to superstardom. In Hong Kong, Lee could finally do more than act. His creativity flourished with The Way of the Dragon in 1972, where he took charge as writer, director, star, and fight choreographer. This film showcased his martial arts and introduced audiences to the legendary fight scene with Chuck Norris. It is still considered one of the finest fight scenes in cinematic history. In 1972, Lee commenced filming Game of Death, starring alongside basketball star Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. However, his work in Hong Kong was interrupted when Warner Brothers offered him the lead in Enter the Dragon, a groundbreaking collaboration that merged Lee's Concord production with Golden Harvest and Warner Brothers, filmed in Hong Kong and completed shortly before his untimely death in 1973. Enter the Dragon went on to become a global sensation, grossing over $400 million worldwide and immortalizing Lee as a martial arts legend. His shocking death and his incredible talent left an everlasting impact on cinema and fans worldwide. How could an artist, at the peak of his career, suddenly die? Bruce was at the peak of physical fitness, so how could this happen? A legend never dies. Bruce Lee's death on July 20th, 1973, came as a devastating shock to his fans worldwide. Just weeks after completing Enter the Dragon, the film that would mark the height of his career, Bruce Lee passed away at the young age of 32. The circumstances leading to his death were as sudden as they were tragic. That fateful day began with plans to meet actor George Lazenby for dinner in Hong Kong. Bruce Lee had been passionately discussing his upcoming film projects with producer Raymond Chow earlier in the day, including the highly anticipated Game of Death. After their meeting, Bruce and Raymond drove to Betty Ting Pei's apartment. Betty was a well-known actress at the time and starred alongside Bruce. There were also rumors that they had been a couple at some point. At Betty's, the three were working together and revising scripts for the project. After a few hours of intensive work, Raymond left for another appointment, leaving Bruce to rest at Betty's place. When Bruce failed to appear for dinner with George Lazenby as planned, Raymond rushed back to Betty's apartment, sensing something was terribly wrong. At the condo, Chow did find Bruce, but he was unresponsive. Chow immediately called an ambulance and was sent to Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Desperate attempts were made by doctors to revive him, but it was too late. Bruce Lee was pronounced dead upon arrival. Bruce Lee's death was officially attributed to cerebral edema. In this condition, excessive fluid builds up in the brain, as explained by his doctors. It was a tragic culmination of health issues that had plagued him earlier in the year, including headaches and epileptic seizures during the filming of Enter the Dragon in May 1973. Despite initial signs of recovery back then, his condition took a fatal turn in July, which led to his untimely death. The death of Bruce Lee, the man seen as invincible on screen, was a deep loss for fans, the entertainment industry, and artists everywhere. His funeral was attended by his friends and colleagues, such as Steve McQueen and James Coburn. As time goes on, it is still highly debated whether Bruce died of natural causes or if his death was planned by forces unknown to us. Are we being lied to by the media? Who killed Bruce Lee? Over the decades since his death, numerous speculations and questions have been asked about what happened and how it unfolded. The official announcements from doctors have done little to curb the skepticism, suggesting there might be more to his death, possibly involving foul play. Joe Rogan, known for his podcast and UFC commentary, shares a keen interest in martial arts and recently discussed theories surrounding Bruce Lee's death. In a podcast episode with Joey Diaz, they discussed dark theories about the entertainment industry, including the possibility that Bruce Lee's death was orchestrated. Diaz suggested Bruce Lee's death could have been an inside job by people unhappy over business deals gone sour. He pointed out the suspicious circumstances surrounding the deaths of Bruce Lee and his son, Brandon Lee, who died on a movie set. Diaz speculated that powerful interests in the industry could have wanted Bruce Lee out of the picture. Moreover, the financial success of Bruce Lee's movies, such as Enter the Dragon, raised eyebrows, with allegations that his former partners may have held resentment over his departure from Golden Harvest. Raymond Chow, a key figure in Bruce Lee's career, facilitated his return to Hong Kong's movie scene and co-founded Concord Productions with him. However, after Bruce Lee's death, Raymond Chow gained complete control of Concord Productions, and it eventually folded, leading to further speculation about his possible ulterior motives. The rapid acquisition of Concord by Golden Harvest, where Raymond Chow assumed a prominent role, further fueled suspicions. Bruce Lee's portrayal in media and cinema has also sparked controversy. Quentin Tarantino's depiction of Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood drew criticism from fans and family for its portrayal of Lee as arrogant and easily defeated in a fight. This portrayal contrasted sharply with the public image of Bruce Lee as an undefeated martial artist and cultural icon. Bruce Lee's final day started typically, but ended tragically. After a meeting and visiting his rumored mistress's apartment, Bruce Lee complained of a headache and took medication from Betty Ting Pei. His sudden collapse and subsequent death led to sensationalized rumors in the media, including theories about drug overdose, poisoning, or foul play. The official cause of death was cerebral edema, but doubts persisted due to conflicting reports and speculation. The controversy surrounding Bruce Lee's death is made worse by the mysterious circumstances of his son Brandon Lee's death on a movie set years later. Brandon Lee's fatal shooting during the filming of The Crow led to conspiracy theories similar to those surrounding his father's death. The presence of a real bullet in a prop gun, supposedly loaded with blanks, raised questions about the possibility of foul play or negligence. The official investigations into Bruce Lee's and Brandon Lee's deaths only led to medical explanations, but failed to discredit public suspicions entirely. But now, his daughter seeks to right the wrongs of others and clear her father's name. Do you think there is any truth to these speculations? Shannon Lee, the daughter of the legendary martial arts icon Bruce Lee, has devoted her life to preserving her father's legacy and correcting misconceptions that have surrounded him for decades. As the co-founder of the Bruce Lee Foundation and a pivotal figure in the publication of In My Own Process, Shannon Lee is on a mission to ensure that her father's true character and contributions are accurately remembered and celebrated. Bruce Lee left behind a legacy that transcends martial arts. During his short life, Bruce Lee revolutionized the film industry with his groundbreaking approach to martial arts and philosophy. Shannon Lee has been actively shedding light on Bruce Lee's multifaceted personality and discrediting myths that have tarnished his reputation over the years. In recent years, Shannon Lee has been vocal about challenging the narrative that her father was angry or arrogant. She acknowledges that Bruce Lee, like anyone, had moments of frustration and intensity, often fueled by the challenges he faced in his personal and professional life. However, she emphasizes that these aspects of his personality were balanced by his deep introspection and commitment to personal growth. Lately, there's been this narrative popping up that my father was angry all the time and arrogant, Shannon explained in an interview. But through his self-work, he came to understand that it's easy to be deceit and arrogant. It's harder to be honest and express who you really are. Moreover, Shannon Lee has taken a stand against inaccurate portrayals of Bruce Lee in popular media. She fiercely criticized Quentin Tarantino's depiction of her father in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where Bruce Lee is portrayed in an aggressive and boastful manner. Shannon argued that such portrayals misrepresent her father's true character and are a disservice to his legacy. Quentin Tarantino can portray Bruce Lee however he wanted to, and he did, Shannon remarked. But it's a little disingenuous for him to say, well, this is how he was, but this is a fictional movie, so don't worry too much about it. Beyond addressing Hollywood representations, Shannon Lee has also confronted persistent conspiracy theories surrounding Bruce Lee's death. Despite the official cause being an allergic reaction to pain medication, rumors have circulated suggesting foul play or other mysterious causes. Shannon has consistently worked to debunk these theories, urging people to focus on Bruce Lee's extraordinary achievements and his integral impact on martial arts and cultural representation. Shannon's efforts go beyond advocacy. She actively oversees initiatives and collaborations aimed at preserving Bruce Lee's teachings and ensuring that his philosophies continue to inspire future generations. Her work with the Bruce Lee Foundation and other projects shows her dedication to honoring her father's memory in a way that accurately reflects his values and ideals. You can tell how much she loves him by how she carries his work forward. In addition to her advocacy work, Shannon Lee has shared personal anecdotes about her father, highlighting his warmth, humor, and influence on those around him. Despite being only 4 years old when Bruce Lee passed away, Shannon has vivid memories of the strong sense of love and security he created for her. "The thing that I remember the most about him is how he felt to me," Shannon reminisced. "I have a very strong feeling of warmth, a sense of attention, a sense of playfulness, a sense of strength." Shannon Lee's efforts to preserve Bruce Lee's legacy extend to educational initiatives, museum collaborations, and creative projects to ensure that her father's impact is felt by future generations. Through her work, Shannon Lee ensures the enduring relevance of Bruce Lee's contributions to martial arts and philosophy. More than just a fighter, Bruce the philosopher and poet. Bruce Lee, revered as a martial arts icon, transcended his fame as an actor to become a thinker and philosopher whose ideas continue to resonate with his fans. His philosophy, deeply rooted in a blend of Eastern wisdom and Western intellectual influences, extends far beyond physical combat, encompassing themes of self-actualization, adaptability, and the limitless potential of human capability. Bruce Lee's intellectual journey began at the University of Washington, where he explored drama and immersed himself in Asian and Western philosophy. His extensive library was proof of his broad-ranging interests. It included martial arts treatises and philosophical texts. According to his daughter Shannon Lee, he saw martial arts as his chosen method of self-expression, integrating philosophy into his martial arts teachings. He did write poetry. He was really the consummate artist. Lee's philosophy was deeply influenced by Taoism, Buddhism, and the teachings of Jiddu Krishnamurti. Rejecting the conservative worldview of Confucianism, Lee's approach was characterized by a quest for personal truth and universal principles, rather than adherence to dogma. Even though he had explored spirituality, Lee identified as an atheist, stating in 1972, "None whatsoever," when asked about his religious affiliation. Beyond martial arts and philosophy, Lee expressed his insights through poetry, which mirrored his martial arts philosophy. Linda Lee Cadwell described his poems as reflecting the deeper, less exposed recesses of the human psyche, aligning with the reflective nature of his martial arts philosophy. Lee's poetic expression was marked by themes of inner turmoil and existential reflection, offering a glimpse into his vast inner world. Central to Bruce Lee's philosophy is the concept embodied in his famous quote, "Be water, my friend." This encapsulates his belief in adaptability, formlessness, and the ability to flow effortlessly through life's challenges. Lee explained, "Water can flow or it can crash," illustrating his philosophy of adapting to circumstances rather than resisting them. His martial art, Jeet Kune Do, emphasized personal expression over fixed techniques, advocating for adaptability and responsiveness. The Jeet Kune Do symbol, incorporating the yin-yang and a couplet emphasizing having no method as method, having no limit as limit, symbolizes Lee's commitment to fluidity and openness in martial arts practice. This symbol serves as a visual representation of his philosophical principles, encouraging practitioners to embrace change, growth, and continuous evolution. Lee's mindset was shaped by his upbringing in Hong Kong under British colonial rule, where he was exposed to both Eastern wisdom and Western modernity. His philosophy focused on non-attachment and a Zen-like approach to life. Lee advocated for abandoning fixed ideas and styles, urging individuals to cultivate a mindset that embraced constant adaptation and personal growth. Bruce Lee embodied his philosophical principles throughout his life, striving for self-actualization and encouraging others to do the same. His teachings, compiled posthumously in books like Tao of Jeet Kune Do and Striking Thoughts, continue to inspire individuals globally. Lee's philosophy resonates deeply with those navigating life's complexities with resilience, authenticity, and a commitment to personal excellence. His legacy goes beyond his cinematic achievements. His philosophy is a source of comfort and hope for his fans and loved ones, and really anyone who's just trying to be a better version of themselves. There's still more to Bruce's achievements, though, as he was working in Hollywood at a time when the industry was full of racial biases. By now, we know Lee's philosophy on martial arts was groundbreaking. He advocated for adaptability and individual expression over rigid adherence to established styles. He famously stated, "The best fighter is not a boxer, karate, or judo man. The best fighter is someone who can adapt to any style, to be formless, to adopt an individual's own style, and not following the system of styles." This concept of being formless and adaptable laid the foundation for his martial art, Jeet Kune Do, which emphasized fluidity and practicality in combat. Dana White, the founder of the UFC, acknowledged Lee as the father of mixed martial arts, highlighting how Lee's philosophy of taking what works from various disciplines influenced the evolution of modern combat sports. White noted, "The perfect style was no style. You take a little something from everything. You take the good things from every different discipline, use what works, and you throw the rest away." Lee's impact extended beyond theory into practice, inspiring a generation of martial artists and athletes. His influence reached boxing champions like Sugar Ray Leonard and Manny Pacquiao, who both attributed aspects of their fighting styles to Lee's teachings. UFC champions like Conor McGregor and Jon Jones also call Lee their source of inspiration. McGregor even compares himself to Lee and often says that Lee would excel in today's UFC. Lee's legacy in combat sports is further cemented by the techniques he popularized, such as the oblique kick to the knee utilized by Jon Jones. Bruce Lee challenged the stereotypes of Asian masculinity in Western media during the 1960s and 1970s. Historically, Asian men were often depicted as emasculated or subservient characters on screen, reinforcing negative stereotypes. Lee's emergence as a charismatic, powerful action star shattered these stereotypes, presenting Asian men as strong, confident, and heroic figures capable of commanding the screen. As Hoi-Chuen Chung from the University of Michigan notes, Lee demonstrated that Asian men could be tough, strong, and sexy, challenging perceptions and paving the way for greater diversity in Hollywood portrayals. Lee's films resonated deeply within marginalized communities in North America, particularly among Black, Asian, and Hispanic audiences. His popularity went beyond racial boundaries, with Lee becoming a cultural icon comparable in stature to Muhammad Ali among Black communities during the 1970s. Lee's films provided representation and empowerment, offering a heroic figure that audiences of various ethnic backgrounds could admire and emulate. Bruce redefined the representation of Chinese people on screen. His characters embodied strength, honor, and resilience, resonating with audiences seeking authentic, empowering narratives. Lee's choreography, characterized by minimal cuts and reliance on skilled martial artists, distinguished his films from Hollywood's traditional action movies, with more realism and athleticism over theatricality. What does Bruce Lee mean to you? It's safe to say that Bruce has left a lasting impression on people's imaginations. He influenced not only cinema, but also challenged racial stereotypes, paving the way for Asian actors today. From sports to philosophy, he was a complete man and an even more complete artist. It's now obvious why people continue to create new conspiracies about his death. The loss of his life has been felt by generations and always comes as a shock to anyone being introduced to him for the first time. We wish there were more answers. We wish for some highly complicated story so that we can somehow justify losing such a precious artist so soon. We want a scheme, drama, and to punish someone, somewhere, because we want more. Sadly, his son being taken away by death also adds to the discomfort we feel in our hearts. There is no crazy answer. Sometimes, there is only the truth and us. No one can take away what Bruce Lee meant to people and artists worldwide. He was truly the voice of a generation. Do you have any ideas behind Lee's unfortunate death? Start the conversation in the comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.